Indra is the king of the Devas, a very powerful god. And almost all the ancient Hindu texts, from the Vedas to the Puranas, talk about a conflict between the Devas and the Asuras. A famous rivalry is the battle between the great Deva Indra and the Asura Vritra, where Indra defeats Vrtira. In the Puranic narratives, when Indra vanquishes Vrtira, he incurs the Brahmahathya dosha, the sin of killing a learned man who had realized the true nature of reality, one who had understood the Brahman. But Vrtira was an Asura. Why did Indra incur the sin of killing a truly learned man, a realized soul, when he killed Vrtira? Before we understand this, we need to answer a few questions. Who were the Devas and the Asuras? Why were they in conflict? And what is the symbolism of their conflict? According to the ancient texts, all races of beings, including Devas and Asuras, are sibling races. They are the descendants of the daughters of Daksha, who was the mind-born son of Brahma. So Devas and Asuras are siblings. They're brothers. How did they come into existence? The Puranas detail the story of how various realms of existence were populated with these beings. One of the Puranas, the Srimad Bhagavatam, details the attempt to populate the three worlds initially by the sons of Daksha. Now, Daksha himself is a mind-born son of Brahma. He creates 10,000 mind-born sons of his own, who he manifests and instructs to populate the earth. When the 10,000 sons of Daksha go to populate the earth, they meet the great sage Narada. Narada instructs them to meditate on the true nature of reality instead of indulging in creation. He says, you have come into existence, why do mundane things like creation? Instead, focus on attaining the true nature of reality. Focus on liberation. He talks to them about the universal truths and sends them on a quest towards liberation instead of indulging in creation. Hence, the sons of Daksha, all 10,000 of them, take up sannyasa and move towards liberation. Daksha again creates 1,000 sons. They too take the same path of transcendence goaded by Narada. Daksha then curses Narada that he would be destined to wander the universe for his unsolicited advice to his sons. Narada hence is a sage who is also a musician and a cosmic wanderer. Finally, Daksha begets 60 daughters, and via the marriage of his daughters to the rishis, they populate the universe with all the beings detailed in the Puranic scriptures. Devas, Nagas, Asuras, categories of Asuras such as Daityas, Danavas are born of the daughters of Daksha. In fact, the Danavas are the descendants of Danu, a daughter of Daksha, and Daityas are the descendants of Diti, one of the daughters of Daksha. The Daityas and the Danavas are sometimes collectively referred to as Asuras. The Devas belong to the lineage of Aditi, yet another daughter of Daksha. The Devas are constantly engaged in a struggle with the Asuras. The conflict between the Devas and the Asuras is immortalized in many ancient texts. The Vedas, the Puranas, all of them detail the conflict between Indra and Vrtira, particularly in great detail from various angles. Contrary to what is popularly held, the scriptures never declare the Devas as absolutely good and the Asuras as absolutely bad. The Hindu scriptures never deal with characters as binary. All beings are composed of a mixture of three gunas, the three fundamental modes of nature, the basic components of Prakriti, the material that cause qualities to emerge. The three gunas are sattva, that which is good, truth, being close to the essence of the true nature of reality, rajas, which denotes passion, action, and tamas, which is ignorance, inertia, and destruction. Creation itself happens due to the imbalance of the gunas. So every being is just a mixture of these three gunas in varying degrees. And in fact, one of the Puranas, the Srimad Bhagavatam, mentions this in a verse. According to the spirit of the time, when the quality of sattva is ascending, gods and rishis are fostered. Asuras are fostered when Rajas is predominant, and Yakshas and Rakshasas are fostered when Tamas predominates. And the battle itself between Indra and Vritra takes place in the Treta Yuga, the second phase of the cosmic cycle. This was the second yuga where order moves towards chaos and knowledge begins to be shrouded by ignorance. So the Asuras have a dominance of Rajas, Devas have more Sattva, but this too is not set in stone. In fact, many of the Daityas and the Danavas had very redeeming qualities depending on their karma and previous births. As you will see, Vritra himself had great qualities that led to Indra incurring the sin of killing a realized soul. Let us take a look at the actual events that happen. Vishwarupa was a very gentle, learned being in whom the Sattva Guna reigned supreme. He was a descendant of the Daityas, a group of Asuras, as you know, from his mother's side, and the Devas from his father's side. He had 3 heads, hence his name Trishiras Vishwarupa. A sequence of events lead to Vishwarupa being the object of Indra's anger, and this leads to Indra killing Vishwarupa. There are multiple narrations that detail the events that lead to Indra slaying Vishwarupa. According to the Bhagavata Purana, Brishaspathi is the guru, the acharya of the Devas. He is the son of sage Angira. Shukracharya is the acharya, the guru of the Asuras. Once Indra, the king of Devas, was seated in his throne, surrounded by the opulence of his court. Acharya Brihaspathi walks into his court, but Indra does not accord him the respect that was due. He had transgressed the path of virtue due to arrogance. Brihaspathi leaves the court in anger, and Indra is struck with guilt. He tries to seek out his Acharya Brihaspathi to apologize to him, but Brihaspathi had already disappeared using his yogic powers. Knowing that their guru was not there to protect the Devas, the Asuras seized the opportunity to attack the Devas. Scared, the Devas go to Brahma. Brahma chastises the Devas, and he tells the Devas that their conduct was very unbecoming, and that's why they were in the current predicament. He tells the Devas that in fact the Asuras venerated their Guru Shukracharya with great devotion, which is why their power had increased. He finally gives them a solution, asking them to seek out sage Vishwarupa, the son of Tvashtra, and take him as their preceptor. The Devas immediately go to Vishwarupa and convince him to become their guru. The gentle Vishwarupa agrees. He teaches Indra the right knowledge, the word used here is Vidya, by which he gains invincibility and the power to conquer all the Asuras. All things seem to fall in place, but one day Indra sees Vishwarupa doing a yajna. He sees Vishwarupa praying for the well-being of the Asuras as well. Suspicious and enraged, Indra kills sage Vishwarupa. The Devi Bhagavata Puranam differs in this account slightly. Vishwarupa performs a penance to attain liberation, a tapas, so severe that it attracted the attention of all beings. Indra sees Vishwarupa as well, performing this very hard penance. Indra is scared that via this meditation, Vishwarupa might become more powerful, so he kills Vishwarupa. In more ancient accounts, like in the Vedas, Tvashtra is the guardian of Soma. His son Vishwarupa is the guardian of the cows. Vishwarupa zealously guards his cows, and Indra, desiring to set the cows free, kills Vishwarupa. But again, this is not the right interpretation because the word go in Sanskrit also means knowledge. The right interpretation is this: Vishwarupa was the guardian of knowledge, and Indra, desiring to set the knowledge free, kills Vishwarupa. In either case, Indra kills Trishiras Vishwarupa. Angered by Vishwarupa's death, his father creates Vrtira, a very powerful Asura, to vanquish Indra. Vishwarupa's father, Tvashtra, performed a ritualistic ceremony, and out of the fire of the ritual arose Vrtira. Vrtira grew day by day until he stood as tall as a mountain of darkness. According to the texts, he stood like the personification of Pralaya, the destruction, the dissolution of all creation. A giant being of darkness, the very word Vrtira translates to that which covers, that which obstructs. True to his name and form, Vrtira started engulfing the three worlds in darkness. The Devas, described as wise, tried to strike Vrtira with their divine weapons. The word actually used for the Devas here is Vibhuda Rishabha. Vibhuda means wise. So they tried to attack Vrtira with divine weapons. Vrtira swallows all the weapons with ease. The Devas are disheartened and eulogize Lord Vishnu. They tell him that this is not the time for destructive activities that would lead to the dissolution of the three worlds. Because according to the Puranas, these incidents happen at the beginning of the Treta Yuga. So this was not the time for the dissolution. On being eulogized by the Devas, Lord Vishnu instructs Indra on how to procure the Vajrayudha, a very powerful weapon, a thunderbolt with which Vrtira could be defeated. Now, how Indra gets the Vajrayudha itself is an interesting story. The Puranas are a bit more detailed in this narrative. When Indra and the Devas go to Lord Vishnu, he asks Indra to go to the sage Dadichi. A very learned sage, Dadichi was known for his austere penance. What's surprising is the instructions that follow. Lord Vishnu instructs Indra to ask for the sage's body and to fashion the thunderbolt out of his bones. Indra, along with the Devas, approaches the great sage Dadichi. The sage welcomes the Devas, and immediately the Devas put up their request for the sage to give up his body. The sage jokingly tells the Devas, "Do you have an idea of the pain that is caused at the time of death? The body actually is the dearest object for a person in this life. Why should I part with this body, even if Lord Vishnu is asking for it?" The Devas respond saying that for self-realized souls, there is nothing that they cannot part with. There should be nothing they are attached to. Sage Dadichi tells the Devas that this is what they need to understand. He engages his mind on the Supreme Absolute and drops his mortal body in an instant. So he merges into the Supreme Absolute, and out of the adamantine bones of the great sage Dadichi, Vishwakarma fashions the Vajrayudha, the powerful thunderbolt of Indra. The Vedas too talk about this with certain added details, and there is a very deep symbolism behind this that we will look at. Indra then rides on to the battlefield to face Vrtira. In the beginning of the Treta Yuga, on the banks of the river Narmada, the battle scene unfolds. Indra and Vrtira stand facing each other. We will see what happens in the next part. As always, the known is a drop and the unknown an ocean. Peace.